Sometimes I wish that we would look in our hearts and see that only.
As I said, once again, happy birthday to Denise Solomon, celebrating her birthday today. Yeah, bless up yourself. Looking forward to having you back in studio soon, my little daughter. Well, as we celebrate Youth Month, sometimes these themes come along and we just take them for granted. Yeah, it's Youth Month, it's Parent Month, it's, Cancer Awareness Month. But are we really checking into what is really taking place? Because so far, the irony, or I should say the disgust of what's going on. I mean, Child Month just died, and already I think 3 children have been burnt up in a fire. How irresponsible is that? How irresponsible is it that a mother, a so-called mother, should leave her home? So we hear, it's alleged, and go to a dance and leave an 8-year-old in charge of the rest of the children who succumbed to the fire, injuries in the fire. I mean, that's crazy. And these things happen when we're supposed to be more aware, supposedly in Youth Month. So just a week ago, I think it was now, right? About a week ago, we had another unfortunate situation, and we're still trying to wrap our everything around this to figure out, what's this? Some people call it a freak accident. I don't know, But at this time, we have Claude Big Stone Sinclair in studio with me, who has a close relationship with the mother of the youngster, who will be here shortly, and he's going to be. And the stepfather, right? They will be here, right? So, but in the meantime, we're going to get started. And welcome again, Claude.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to have you in this space, even though sometimes, sometimes the stories are like so. They make you so despondent,
Naturally.
Sometimes. But you're on it. You're on it. So when you first heard the story, first of all, let's start there.
Well, it was October 28th in the evening, say about 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the Vineyard Town area, which is walking distance to the Clancarty Primary and the Clancarty High School. They're right there, the roundabout in front of Almond so it's right there. And I heard the news that a little boy got mowed down by a garbage truck. And when I make some calls, I have a friend living in Franklin Town. His name is Jermaine. Mm-hmm. And when I make some calls to Jermaine says, well, he knows the father very well. And being a vlogger as well, I would really love to cover this story onto the fact that it is so close to my home.
Your community, yeah.
Right. So on the 6th of November, they had the 9 night. Mm-hmm. And I took my camera, and I went over there and I captured the 9 night. Mm-hmm. I sat down with Jaffine Campbell, which is the mother
right.
of Benjamin Bear. Mm-hmm. And we spoke for about 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can go to YouTube and see it, a mother's pain.
So what was, when you were speaking to her, because everything was just so fresh and raw at that time, how was she responding?
Well, she was very, very distraught, as any mother would be losing a loved one. But she was very intelligent, very sharp, very emotional, and she loved her son dearly.
Only child, or she has?
No, she has 2 other children.
2 other kids, yeah, okay. And this child, was he 7?
7 years old, yes.
Adorable little boy. I saw the pictures, and it was very adorable. So, what was it? What was the situation like there? Because there you would have had extended family, neighbors.
Very somber. It was very somber. There was a lot of people there lighting candles and listening to gospel song and praying along with her.
And there to strengthen her more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she told me how the incident unfolded. She said that Monday morning, she fixed his favorite breakfast, which is egg and bread and fried plantain.
I knew you were going to say egg. Something told me you were going to say eggs.
Yes, and she packed his lunchbox, which is bun and cheese. That's his favorite again. And she took him to school like she do every morning.
She walks him to school because she's that close?
No, she live in the Lower Highway Road area. That is close to the Calvary Cemetery. So she would probably walk to Crossroad and then take a cab from Crossroad down there. And she took him to school and bid him farewell and so on. And he said that morning, normally he wouldn't wave to her, but that morning he just didn't say anything but just wave, and she kind of felt that, was very peculiar. Anyway, the stepfather, Wayne Williams, is his job now to pick up little Benjamin. So Wayne and I had a conversation, and he told me that day, like every day, he told little Benjamin to wait in the further corner of the yard, away from vehicles or anything, so that, if anything of that nature would happen, it wouldn't
So
affect
he
him.
he actually told him to do that.
Every morning,
Yes.
every evening, he would have a designated area in the school where he would pick him up, and as soon as he drives in and toot on, little Benjamin would be right there. Right. So he said when he got there at about 4:30, he noticed there was a lot of vehicle unusual, and there were some dignitary, official plates and so on and so forth. And then he overheard that there was an accident at the school, and he couldn't get to go in, so he parked on the outside, and it was there. And then he overheard a little girl says, "Boy, the garbage truck run over." You know what I mean?
But of course, probably didn't say a name. Just said a little boy.
Yeah, just a little boy. So he said he turned around to the little girl and asked her to describe this little boy for him. No, little Benjamin here is plaited.
Right, I see that.
Yeah,
yes.
and so she described the plaited here and so on, and he said right then and there he knew it was Ben. He called him Ben 10 from a cartoon character.
Right, Ben 10.
Yeah, Ben 10. So he said right then and there he knew that was his stepson. And then
So what? I mean, what kind of emotions? I mean, that is something that any of us witnessing or experiencing something like that would just. I mean, it would just.
They're still
hysteria.
They're still in shock and
Yes.
awe. Right, the mother, every time she speaks about her little son, she breaks down.
Yes.
Hopefully they can get it in time so they can hear their side of the story. I cannot tell you how a parent like them would feel, because I've never had that experience.
Yeah.
But as a parent, I know personally that our children are supposed to bury us as parents, and not the other way around. We burying our children. And
sad commentary, seriously sad.
So what I did was I start to point them to the right directions, to see how best as I can help. I reached out to you, and you didn't hesitate, because she's a poor family of 3, and they have an account at the National Commercial Bank.
Okay.
Account number 0650889991. It's in the name of Japhine Campbell,
That's
which
a
is
mother.
JAPHENE Campbell. So if anyone wants to make a donation towards the funeral expense,
So let me ask you something though. You're asking for contributions, and there's nothing wrong with that. The family is a poor family, and they need help and support. But I would think that since this little boy
was killed by the state because it was in a
absolutely on the school grounds, that the Ministry of Education, I don't know what the procedures are, but some way along the line that they would be covering the cost for the funeral.
These are some very proud parents. I've never met any poorer, prouder parents, because she constantly say, "I'm a strong black woman." That means she's extremely proud. She's not one to, And I think they're so distraught right now. People probably wouldn't want to have anything to do with anybody else. They just want to deal with this on their own.
But the state has a
initiative.
responsibility.
But the state do have a responsibility.
Yeah, they have a responsibility, and they should have reached out. Hope she gets.
Nobody did officially. She said 2 people reach out. Member of Parliament for the Kingston 12th Division, I think it was Golden, and somebody else from the opposition reached out to her.
Right. But that's it.
Duncan's, I think it was another Duncan.
Imani
Duncan, and no, it was Golden and somebody else from the opposition.
Opposition, not Duncan. Okay,
no, it couldn't be Duncan. No.
But Imani Duncan is opposition. Yeah.
Imani Duncan is PNP, isn't it?
Yes,
the opposition.
yes.
So it would be Golden from the opposition and somebody else from the party that is in power.
Okay.
That reached out to her.
So this would have been like a week. It's
10,
a
11
little
days ago.
over a week
About
now.
11 days ago.
And
the 28th.
yeah. And as I said, I'm a little disturbed because I'm thinking that, like a couple days after, when the parents would have, kind of, you never get over this, but I'm just saying that the authority should have already been making arrangements
Plans and so
plans.
on.
Don't
Well,
care how
she
proud you are. The point is that the child,
has to be
lost his
buried
life.
and
Yeah,
has
lost
to
his
be
life
buried
on the
in a
school
dignified
grounds.
manner.
Yeah. What's the school community like though now? How are they dealing with it? Because have counselors come in? Because that must have been I mean, terrible to witness that as anybody,
As children.
children in particular, because they're more impressionable, teachers, parents there to pick up their children at that time of day. What is happening at the school? Do you have any idea as to what's taking place?
Well, it's a solemn moon, and of course, the parent again would be best able to answer that question because they're in touch. I don't want to say things that I'm not sure, but I would assume that there must be counseling going on. One thing I know, though, Denise, is her daughter, which is 8 years old, Serafina Beer, who attends the other school, just Paul, right around the corner,
yes,
has not been to school since that day. She's taking it very, very hard. She keep asking, "Where's her little brother?"
Oh my word!
So she's taking it very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
I
know. I heard that the driver of the truck went missing. The owner came forward, but then I heard that the driver did. After a while, after some days,
I don't know if he was arrested or he turned himself.
He turned himself in.
He turned himself in.
That's what I heard on the news. Yes,
yes, he did.
So I'm sure the authorities are definitely dealing with that aspect of it, at least. But it's just when I heard the story, I was like, this is just so
very
awful. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it just shows you, in the nick of time. You're saying if you stay in a corner, if you walk faster, walk slow. I'm just saying all these different things. Also, there's a parent in a taxi and a child. Do you have any idea how they're doing? Because I know that they were injured also and taken to the hospital.
Right. No, we don't.
But
know
I know
how
they're still
doing.
alive. That
Yes,
I do
they
know.
are.
Yeah, but I know that they were taken to the hospital and they. Early in my program, I was saying that it's Thankful Thursday, and a lot of times we complain about real trivial things. Yeah, we can, we might not see this trivial, but in comparison to what some people are going through, I talked about this woman who lost her, I think it's 3 children in a fire. Just a couple of days ago. These parents here who lost this youngster by this freak accident. They need as much help and strength as we can possibly give them in this time. And that's happy. That's why you're there also to help.
Of course.
To support
there's
them.
also another incident that is very disturbing, owing to the fact that you mentioned it is Youth Month.
Yes.
It's in the Observer newspaper a couple of days ago where a parent, it's the Salvation Army School for the Vision Impaired, took her child to school.
Yes.
And when she went back in the evening, she overheard one of the instructors calling the group of children there, "Come on, little monkeys."
Yes, I heard about that.
It is equally disturbing.
Very
it's
much
like somebody
so.
killed me all over again for
Very
what Marcus
much so.
Garvey and Sam Sharp and Danny of the Maroon
Yes.
and Paul Bogle stood for. In this age and time, we're classifying our children as little monkeys. Why not little king, little prince,
yes.
little radio announcer like Denise Isis Miller, little lawyers, come on, little doctors and so on.
Nurses.
But little monkeys is just telling you where we are in this age and time.
Somebody was insinuating that, they don't see it as a big deal because just like how you just say, you coin all kind of little words for kids, munchkin and all kind of things. But I'm saying, but monkeys.
Munchkin is not anything.
It's not appropriate.
Monkey's an animal.
It's an animal. and of course, we know the history of that.
Of course.
And,
exactly.
When it comes down to black people and how people have said derogatory things about us.
Exactly.
And compared us to monkeys. So coming from that particular view, we have to know. And as a teacher, as you rightly say, there's so many other things you could have said. Hey,
and
King.
The thing that is so appalling to Sister Isis is the fact that when she confronted the instructor, I don't know if it's a white person or black, I don't care at this time who it is. She was nonchalant about the whole thing. So
Mhm.
if you're offended, then I'm sorry, but that's how we call them.
No,
You know, that's
no, I
very,
heard
very
the
rude.
story. Yeah.
Also, when the director for the Salvation Army, the Caribbean
Mhm.
territorial director, his name is Devon Orton, I read in the newspaper
Mhm.
that he wasn't available for a comment. They make several attempts to contact him, and nobody has apologized or make any arrangement to apologize. I think that
No,
person should be removed forthwith,
without doubt,
without
without a
doubt.
doubt. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, not this is like making 100 steps backward.
Exactly.
You make
Sam Sharp and
there's no
Paul
way.
Bogle
You know,
turn in their grave to see
Mm-mm.
that or hear that.
Crazy.
You know.
Well, I'm just saying this to say that it is indeed Youth Month,
Hmm.
and I think that parents, caregivers, the extended family that we are, we need to be more alert and more aware, and about what's going on when it
Hmm.
comes on to our children. I think it's just too loose. Sometimes I see some children heading to school or heading home, and as far as I'm concerned, these children, they should be with an adult.
Of
They're so
course,
tiny. They're so little. They're so, I just think we're too loose with our kids.
we are.
And as I said, it takes a village. So I'm not putting this only on a parent's shoulders or a caregiver's shoulders or immediate family shoulders. All of us are responsible for our children,
I was
So,
looking in the newspaper and I saw where there has been 1,644 reported case of child abuse for this year so far.
mm,
It's dangerous. We're
you
not paying attention at all.
not paying attention, and we're gonna dance and we're gonna yes, and we're gonna
As you mentioned
without.
that dance thing, I remember this happened a few years ago. I don't know which community,
Mhm.
but it happened at the Calvary Cemetery. So you think of the adjoining communities there. It was about 11 o'clock and somebody was going through the cemetery
Yes.
and heard a baby cry. So him running, I'm thinking more or less it was a ghost or something like that. But then the cry become more real and real.
Yes.
And when him turned around and went back, you know those broken sepulchre?
Yes.
When him look, him saw a baby in the broken sepulchre with a nipple buckle close to him.
Oh,
The long and short of it, the mother, had a dance to go to. So she just put the baby in the little sepulchre area,
yeah, like a crib.
put a nipple buckle in the baby mouth, and got a
What?
dance. Yes.
I'm madness that though. No, but I know you must have heard about the young lady who has 5 children and abandoned a child she carried. It was found in the
Right.
pit toilet.
Right.
I don't know if they've found her yet because she ran
was-
away.
Yeah, she ran away.
But I don't get it. Do you understand that our children are our future? This is our legacy. This is life.
Give the child up for adoption if you don't
Yes, take
want.
it to the police station or
You know,
something.
people cannot
Don't-
have children that would love to
They're
have a
so
child.
right. It's like we're just not conscious. There's something lacking in our society now in a big, 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 big way. And if we and that is these are some of the reasons why we have our young people behaving in this particular way, because the way they were treated and the way they're being treated, there's no love there. Everybody's just into their own little selfish way. I mean, how can I get some more bleaching cream? How can I get a
Right,
weave to go to a
right.
dance? You know what I'm saying? How can I get a new shoes? Nobody, they're not really busy. It's just about me, myself, and I, as we would say. So, we have to be more alert. We have to be more aware. And not because it's not your child. I know a lot of people complain and say, well, sometimes what I do when I try to talk to somebody else's children, the parent comes down on me or whatever, or even teachers will say that, boy, I haven't said too much to the child because the parents will come to school, come beat me. All them things are madness,
But which is true, it does happen.
I know it does happen, but that's total craziness,
It
so we
takes
need
a
to get it.
village to raise a child.
It
That's what
takes
they
a
say in
village.
Africa
It
and
takes
other
a
places.
village, yeah. So we have to work on it.
And when I was a child, I remember if I misbehaved going home from school and a total stranger observed my actions,
Yes.
they're entitled to reprimand me.
Yes.
Whatever way they choose to.
Yeah.
And I dare not tell my mom and dad because I'm going to get another reprimand. So
Yeah,
we need
get
to
another
get back to
beating.
that. Most
Yeah,
definitely. we
we're
need
gonna get
back to
another
that.
beating, man. Yes, we have really loosened up, Well, it is 5 minutes to the hour of
Then I
11
hear you.
o'clock, and we still have not seeing the guest. But you know, we understand anything could have happened
Probably held up
along the
in
way.
traffic.
Yeah,
But
because
they're
it
on the
was
way
very,
definitely though. So you'll
yes,
get a
yes,
chance to
yeah.
meet them when they come
So
to the
yeah, and then
studio.
what I'll do definitely is have
Probably
our
reschedule.
news, yeah, and have our news editor probably do a little clip with them as well before they
That would be
actually leave.
great.
Dudley, yeah, Dudley
Yes,
can
that
do that
would be
as
great.
well. Yeah.
That would be great.
But what's going? What else is going on with you before we have a couple minutes left? I
Well,
know
we
you
just did the fire baptism.
I know. Oh gosh, I wanted to make it so, but I didn't have a ride, and there was so much rain
You
this
could have
side.
called me. You know, I'll pick you up at your pleasure. You know that.
That was a busy
Was
day
that
for
the reason?
you. Huh?
Was that the reason why you didn't make it?
Yeah, that was the reason because by the time I got off here, but you would have been that side already though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
for
I got there
sure.
about
Yeah.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, you'd have been that side
It was
already.
beautiful.
Yeah, so I heard.
We walked from the roundabout out by Goodyear at about 5:30. We started it. Took us
Yes.
about 25, 30 minutes to get there.
Uh-huh.
So by time, but it was beautiful. It's up on YouTube. You can see it, the Paul
Right.
Bogle fire baptism. Just go on Claude Sinclair YouTube and you can see it because I
Right.
document all these things for.
Which you know I must commend you for, you know,
Thank
once
you.
again, Claude. It is very important that we document the things that we're doing, and it's a part of it's a very important part of our legacy, you know.
Remember,
So I
our
appreciate it.
ancestors used the hieroglyphics and in the pyramid and
Yes,
the
yes,
markings and
yes.
so on. If not, our history
We
would
would-
have been destroyed
we-
because you see what they
And
did.
they're still trying to destroy it.
But they made sure, our ancestors made sure they etched it in stone. You cannot remove it.
The wisdom of our ancestors, the wisdom, man, and we give thanks for that, you know.
Thank you.
But a Luta continue, the
The struggle
struggles,
continues.
victory is indeed sure. Yeah. So what's the next project coming up, God?
Well, you know, we're getting ready to do another Junior Biles charity.
Yes.
For next year, we're looking at the
What?
16th
What?
tentatively.
It's February? Was it reggae month?
Yeah, reggae
Yes,
month.
right.
Right, we're looking on the 16th,
Yeah.
and I'm in touch with Christine
His daughter.
Biles, right?
Yeah.
His daughter, and we'll come probably. You'll be the first to know
Yes.
because you're going to be one of the hosts. I can tell you that.
Right. Yes. We will be there, and she called me the other day as well. So I'm looking forward to speaking to you as a group, and also to having her back here. The time flying, man. The
Just
year
like
done, you know.
Me know.
The year done. She's
I heard from your sister in Jessica in
yes,
Montini.
I missed her. I wish
The end of November, she should be in Jamaica.
Okay, all right, great.
But she coming arm and deadly this time with a delegate.
Really?
So
Oh
some
yeah,
people,
she's doing her
cultural,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, we have to talk more about that because we have to have, of course, you know, utilize the program.
Well, you and her is
promote it.
like white on rice.
So we got to be talking soon because
Most
that's
definitely.
like in another couple weeks. Yeah,
Another couple
so we have
weeks
to do
she'll be
that.
here. But she's also said to tell you this: you have her WhatsApp number.
Yes.
How come you don't utilize it and call her? She's
Yes.
trying to hear
But
from
the other
you.
day, I tried to reach her. I know that she was at some conference or the other two. Just recently, I saw where she was at that conference because even my other friend from Gambia, Oli, was with her, who flew in from the Gambia and hooked up with her as well. So we're going to be hooking up.
Most
So we got
definitely.
work to do.
Yes, lots of it.
All right. So my brothers and sisters, I know a lot of you were tuning in to probably ask questions. I see the phone was ringing of this parent who lost her son recently at Clan Clarity, but hopefully we can get something for the news.
It will
alert
be done.
Dudley Thompson to do something.
Thank you so
And the
much for
news.
having me.
Thank you.
And
once
remember,
again.
again, if I could say this real quickly, the account is National Commercial Bank. The name is Japhene, Japhene Campbell. She's the mother of Benjamin Daniel Bear. But she had another name, Benjamin Daniel Ariel Bear. She said, I wish you had spoken to her. She's such a beautiful person.
Yeah.
And the account number is 0650 88991. 0650 88991. Benjamin Bear.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. Thank
you so much for having me. It's
You are
always
so
a pleasure
welcome.
talking to you.
Same here.
And big up my friend Patrick Kwame Romance. Both of us came down, so I just want to make a big shout out to the radio. Big up yourself, Patrick. Thank you very much.
All right, great. Yes. It is a minute to the hour of 11 o'clock. Yes. And coming up in a moment, we'll be dealing with Meckway Talk, our Protect the Future campaign. They're doing an outside broadcast. Unfortunately, Abba still has a dengue. But coming up in a moment, we have the Protect the Future radio program for the Norman Manley High School at 89 Maxfield Park Avenue. All right, so please keep it locked to Roots FM.
I am somebody, part of a human family. I'm the future, can't you see? Don't turn your back on me. I am somebody, don't you leave me behind. I'm the future, can't you see? Don't turn your back on me. Sometimes I wish that I could make you understand the pain I feel from scars that never seem to heal. Sometimes I wish that we would look in our hearts and see that only love can heal the world. It starts with you and me. Oh yes, I am somebody, part of a human family. I'm the future, can't you see? Don't turn your back on me. I am somebody, don't you leave me behind. I'm the future, can't you see? Don't turn your back on me. I am somebody, part of the human family. I'm the future, can't you see? Don't turn your back on me. No, 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 no. Turn your back on me. Don't you turn your back on me. Turn your back on me. Turn your back on me. You told me that I can be who I want to be.